This segment is all about pottery. Check out some of the incredible pottery made right here in Texas. Not only in Texas, in Fort Worth, my hometown. Yes, I am talking to Pottery Conceptions. So, pottery, clay. How does this all begin? Well, let's go to the little shop and see how this lovely lady makes these incredible pieces. Come with me. Okay, let me introduce you to the woman behind all of this pottery. Pottery Conceptions right here in Fort Worth, Texas. Miss Janet Pharris. How you doing?
It's great to be here.
Okay, look at these great pieces and look at you spinning all this mud, clay, dirt. How does all this work? Explain to me the process.
Well, I was outside, and when I was throwing it, I was wedging on the wheel, bringing it out. And when I started doing pottery, which is about 6 years ago, I was thinking of, I like texture, I like color, I like things that bring it to be as an art, okay, and a functional art as it is. And I like the things that make it mine, basically. And
individually, what do you mean by that? Okay.
Everything is individually made. It's handcrafted individually. It's also glazed. I make my own glazes. So every one I get is going to be different.
So all these colors that we're seeing,
yes,
the stratification of different colors morphing into other colors, you're making that?
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. and you learned to do this how, or you got interested in this because?
Well, I started going for my degree program, and one of the things I had to do was take art. Well, I decided I like ceramics, so I'll take ceramics. And I absolutely fell in love with this. So I've been taking ceramics at the college 4 semesters a year for the last 6 years.
6 years? That is fantastic. And so the idea, pottery concepts, pottery conceptions. Obviously you've got a thinking process behind that. What is that about?
Well, the thinking of is that basically there's been a few of us, and I have some of my daughter's work and my work, and the concept is what it is for the art. And then conceptions, it just brings it all together. For the concept to the conception.
And you have a little slogan, functional art.
Right.
And functionality of a piece is big for you.
Exactly.
So it's not just the art's sake, it's actually the usability.
Well, that's what I think. Art is great to look at and everything, and some of my pieces, actually, yes, you can look at them, and some of Rachel's pieces, but I also like to be able to use them in your home as a part of your decor and a part of you, that this is what you like to display. Okay,
cool. Can I hold this for a second?
Sure.
I want to show the top edging of this piece, particularly, has some markings. I don't know what you would actually call it, stratifications or something. What is that, and how do you do that?
That is actually, it's
stage fright.
Actually, it's called chattering.
Chatter.
And it's a tool that my husband made me. It's very hard to make. This tool is just one of a kind tool. No, actually, I'm kidding with you. It's a hacksaw blade that is shaped into like a question mark.
And so you're just banging out on the clay.
And it just comes in there, and every time you do it, it makes a different kind of marking on it. And so
it's a brilliant idea.
Some of the pieces I will chatter, some of the pieces I will carve, but it kind of makes it mine.
Yours.
Still.
Okay, so in the process of making the piece, I see you at the wheel and you're spinning.
Right.
What does that do? Why does it have to spin? And I know sometimes you speed up the process and you slow down the process. What occurs there? How does this work?
Well, basically you're going for the centrifugal force, that the faster the speed, you'll have the center. The slower the speed, things will go off. So when you are centering clay, you want to be right in the middle and the beginning of it, so that it's not going to wobble, it's going to be straight.
So that creates a secure foundation, is what you're telling me. It doesn't lose its structural integrity in the piece.
Right.
All right. So then I see you reaching over, putting your hands in water, and just like you're dripping water, or somehow bringing a water wetness to the piece.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Well, that's also part of it, is that if the clay is dry, it's going to grab onto your fingers, you know. And so what you want to have is not too much water, not too little water, so it's basically a feel. You know, when I first started throwing, I'm throwing a lot differently than what I'm throwing now. Because you get what feels comfortable to you and how you do it. And then you're sinking the well, you're bringing it out, and then you're going to take it up. Everything starts from a cylinder. And that's what you want to do, is be able to make your cylinders. And most of the schools will tell you that they want to see 10, 12, 15 cylinders.
Is that for one piece? I mean, you do that
No,
too?
just
make 10 or 12, 15
you gotta
pieces.
keep making the cylinders, because everything starts with a cylinder. If you can make a cylinder, you can make anything.
Okay, so speaking of making anything, let's talk about some of these pieces.
Okay.
All right, so this is a beautiful piece right here. You're telling me that this, I would call it a plate or a serving dish
Right.
to me. That started out as a cylinder?
Yes.
And then somehow you're
And I
flattening.
bring it out.
Yeah.
And then I'm using a tool, and it makes its own little edging in there. It's, you know, patting it in a certain thing.
The stone, it looks like stones or
Yes.
pebbles.
Yeah.
As a tool.
As a tool. And bringing it in.
And what's the kind of glaze that's on this?
Now this glaze is, it's a green, they call it a celadon.
Okay.
Celadon glaze is something that shows a lot of texture. Look at my pieces, I have a lot of texture.
You did.
I want texture. So I want to have something that's going to show that texture and not camouflage it with a lot of
That's the
surface.
art part. The art part is the fact that it has the texture, and then you're showcasing that with the glaze.
Exactly. It makes it all. It's like, you know, the first thing you do when you start pottery is that you get your feel of what you like.
Right.
You make your forms what you like. The next part after you do that is starting in your color palette. Something that you like and what you do, and that's what I started to do.
Cool. Okay. Beautiful piece. Another bowl, or a more familiar bowl. What about this one right here?
Okay,
It's got. It looks like to me it's got orange and reds and what I would consider Georgia colors, clay.
Right,
You know.
right. Well, this is why I like to do the carving and the glazing, and it's also your clay body. Different clay bodies will absorb the colorings differently.
What's a clay body?
Clay body. This one is more of a stoneware. It's called a soldate, so it's got a lot of grog in it.
Okay.
A lot of grog is more. You were talking about structurally.
Well, notice you have a lip on this piece, and
Right. It's carved, so you'll see the carving in there, and the lip is kind of bent in. You know, did a little bit of fluting in there. But then you'll see how the glazing, it has one base glaze, but then you'll see how the different glazing kind of accentuates that and brings it down into here.
beautiful.
So this is another one of my passions, is finding things that will mold and meld into it.
That's a beautiful piece. Let's move to a very intriguing piece. My eye and several people's eyes have been looking at this piece, and I can't wait to hear the story behind this one. Okay, let's talk about, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a serving platter. I don't know if it's a showcase piece just for visual display, but the visual colors and the stratification and the lines are engaging. What is this?
We call it in pottery whatever you want it to be.
That's a technical term.
People will ask, what you use this for? Whatever you want it to be. And it's funny because some people say, oh, it's a chip and dip.
Looks like a cake.
And actually, you could
use it for chips and dip. On the other side, it could be a cake
plate.
Cake plate, perfect.
But I kind of fell in love with the wiggle wire. They call it a wiggle wire. It's,
A wiggle wire.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wiggle wire.
But I throw this all actually in one piece, and this is sitting on the bat, and I pull this out, and then I leave a hump here,
okay.
and this will come up, and this goes on the bat, and it stays on the bat for like 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah.
2 weeks?
Plates have to dry very slowly.
I mean, we've seen you throw pieces today in I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're saying that you're going to let that sit and dry?
This has to stay, because basically after I've thrown it, I put it down, I put it outside to get a little bit of the moisture out. Then I've got to get the wire, and I pull it underneath here, and I do this kind of thing, and then I wrap it up and sit it up on the shelf for about 2 weeks.
So is it just any old wire? It's actually a pottery style wire that you're dragging across the clay, if I understand?
Yeah, it's, you know how your pens, those cooking pens have the spirals, springs in them?
Springs, yes.
Okay, it kind of looks like that, only it's bigger.
Okay.
And there's different depths of it. And so that's what it is. And so you're putting it in, and you're putting it down there, and going like the eye, you know.
It's a beautiful piece. It's engaging to the eye, and you want to reach out and touch it and hold it. You want to go, what is? It makes me say, what is this? You know. And
that's that celadon again that I made.
Beautiful.
That it just kind of really accentuates and makes the piece.
You know. Fantastic. We've got 2 more pieces we want to talk about. Let's look at these up here.
Okay, we were talking a little bit about clay body and how it affects what you look at. And
can I hold that?
Yeah, you can hold that.
Yay.
These are actually the same glazes. This is a very rough, and that's that soldate clay. It has a lot of grog in it. This is a B-mix, they call it. And this has you can see how smooth it is.
Yes, very smooth.
This is the same glazes, same firing, but look at the difference in the pottery.
Very much different. I can feel the roughness here versus the smoothness here.
Yeah, and that's what I love about pottery and glazing and everything. It's because basically the clay body makes out what you want it to be also. That a different kind of a look.
Is this a factor of the potterer doing this or the clay?
Both.
It's a combination. Perfect.
Yes.
So it's just like music.
Right.
You know, the musician makes jazz, R&B, rock, etc. But it's all the same notes on the scale.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, that's totally cool. Beautiful pieces. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Pottery Conceptions has some of the best pottery out there. We've got them right here at the Made in America store in downtown Cleveland, Texas. Come and see us. I'm Brad Malatesta for this segment of Made in America TV. See you next time.